Okay, let's unpack this. We're jumping into a deep dive based on a news excerpt, looking at well, a pretty significant incident involving Yes24.
That's right, the major online service provider. The source lays out some concerning details about issues they've been facing.
Yeah, so our mission here is really to take this report and, quickly pull out the key info for you. What happened, why it's important.
Exactly, get straight to the core of it.
And the core seems to be this. Yes24's website, their app. They were having major connection problems. We're talking 2 full days.
And the big reveal, confirmed in our source, not just some technical hiccup.
No, it was a ransomware attack. That's confirmed.
Which obviously means, huge disruption for users, people trying to buy books, maybe check on orders, reserve ticket.
All those standard services were impacted.
And here's where the source gets quite specific. It wasn't just a generic cyber attack.
Right. It says ransomware hacking that actually targeted and crucially encrypted Yes24's member information.
User data encrypted. And, well, following the standard ransomware script.
They want money. The hackers are demanding payment to decrypt that data.
Exactly, holding it hostage.
So how solid is this information? The source points to a National Assembly member, Choi Soo-jin.
Right, from the Science, ICT, Broadcasting, and Communications Committee. She apparently announced this based on data from KISA.
KISA, the Korea Internet Security Agency.
Yeah. And what's interesting looking at the timeline presented in the source
That's right.
is that Yes24 reported the hacking to KISA on a certain afternoon.
Okay, they reported the hacking incident that.
The actual service disruption, the problems users were seeing. The source says that began earlier. The previous dawn, in fact.
Huh. So the problem started well before they officially told the agency about the attack itself. That does raise a bit of a question, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Makes you wonder about the detection or perhaps a reporting process.
Either way, the disruption was broad, impacting, like you said, book searches, checking delivery status. The source even mentions ticket reservations were down.
Basically, core online services were just inaccessible for users.
Now, here's a really crucial point the source brings up. And honestly, it sounds a bit strange.
What's that?
It states, Yes24 is, right now, restricting KISA's access. KISA. The agency meant to help with exactly this kind of cyber attack investigation and technical support.
Wow, okay. That is unexpected. Limiting access for the very agency trying to investigate.
Yeah. It hinders their ability to collect information, understand what's going on, maybe even help fix it faster.
It definitely raises questions about sort of cooperation during a pretty critical time, especially when user data is involved.
Absolutely. And compounding that, the source mentions another uncertainty.
Which is,
Whether Yes24 even reported the attack to the authorities within the mandatory 24-hour window, that's a legal requirement, right?
it typically is, yes. So that's unconfirmed according to this report.
So when you put it all together, you've got the ransomware hitting user data, you've got this timeline where the problem shows up before the report.
And then these apparent restrictions on the official investigation. It paints a, let's say, complicated picture.
For you, the listener, this means more than just not being able to buy a book for a couple of days.
Right. It's about the potential risk to your data and these apparent hurdles in getting the situation fully understood and resolved.
So just to boil it down, the key points from this source. Major platform, Yes24, hit by ransomware. User data held for ransom.
And some real questions highlighted about the company's reporting timeline and how much they're cooperating with KISA's investigation.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We depend so heavily on these online services.
Definitely. An incident like this, especially with these kinds of questions around the response, it makes you pause. How secure is our information online, really?
And what does this suggest about what companies need to be doing? And maybe, what steps we should all consider for our own data security?
Yeah, something to definitely mull over after hearing this.